How you doing, YouTube? Matt with Massive Beer Reviews, back with yet another review. And yeah, it's a little New Zealand hop profile based IPA action in the form of Vault Brewing's New Zealand IPA. Growler here of this beer, as fresh as humanly could possibly be. As you know, if you watch my review, especially over the past year or so, I do a radio show on Sundays. The typical thing with that radio show is we have a brewery on, we interview them. They usually give us beer. We do the interviews, drink the beer, and talk about the beer and whatnot. And just met up with the head brewer, Mark from Vault, and he gave me 5 growlers of this. And I'm just about to go to the radio station to do the interview, so I figured might as well review a little bit and bring it with me, considering we have 5 full growlers, so we should be good to go on this. And I figured might as well give it a review for a couple reasons. One, I like reviewing stuff. 2, it sounds really good. And 3, I don't know. There's a third reason. Who the fuck knows? Anyway, as far as what this beer is, like I said, Vault Brewing, Yardley, Pennsylvania, northeast kind of suburbs of Philadelphia, do predominantly in-house stuff. This is actually a beer they're going to can. It's one of their few, they don't do a ton of canning, but it's one of their fewer can releases. It's the New Zealand IPA. Nelson Sauvin, Raku hops, I believe is what it's called, and one other one that's slipping my mind right now. So it's an all New Zealand hop-based beer. Super excited to give it a whirl. He literally just got it carved up, so it is as fresh as could be and hand-delivered, so that does not suck. So yeah, I'm not going to go over the whole verbiage. I mean, it says Vault Brewing Company, Yardley, Penn, New Zealand IPA, 7% alcohol by volume, 8/15 was the date. I believe this was actually brewed. Or is it 8.5? Or it's let's say 8.5, which is, yesterday's date. So that's how old it is. Anyway, let's give this sucker a pour. Nice little glass. Give me a little glass for it, too. So that's pretty fancy. I actually love the shape of that glass. I don't think I've seen that one locally or anywhere, really, for that matter. So let's give this sucker a pour and see what she's got going on here. He said he wanted to give it at least another week or so. 2, and don't everybody out there freak the fuck out because this is actually legit shit that's going to overflow. Maybe not. So there you go. He wanted to give it another week or so to drop out because it was a little bit too hazy for him. I know everybody out there, the haze has to be the thing, but it's not always the thing. Sometimes you want stuff to drop out. So it's probably a little bit hazier than what you might get at the release, which is, just to plug it, the 21st of August. So yeah, I mean, looking at it right here, got a nice haziness to it, not super haze, a nice yellow color with a tint of orange, gigantic head on it, or pouring it out of a growler into a taller glass. Tried to keep the head as in check as I could, but that was almost an impossibility. So yeah, I mean, she looks like a really nice IPA is what she looks like. So yeah, let's see if I can get a nose through this mountain of foam. Yeah, just nice, sweeter yet subtly bittering, kind of like not necessarily rind, not necessarily flesh. It's kind of that somewhere in between, not necessarily even pithiness. I would go flesh with a little bit of pithiness kind of on it, kind of nose on it from the citrus end of it. And it's the whole gamut of citrus, whether it be your yellow or orange citrus and stuff like that. You're getting a little bit of grapefruit. You're getting a little bit of kind of like tangerine, kind of citrus, orange kind of thing going on in there. I'm getting a little bit of like just a small, like maybe subtly crackery kind of Pilsner malt kind of vibe coming out of it. But yeah, those hops are just definite citrus, all the way citrus, with a little bit of juiciness, but a little bit of bittering. I mean, it's kind of somewhere in between here. It reminds me of marriage of like the new school hops with the old school hops. So, I mean, she just smells like a nice, well done. Now, the head's going down. I'm getting more and more bursts of a little bit more sweet citrus, so the head could be playing a game in this. But yeah, the lower that head goes, the more kind of bursting those kind of citrus notes are coming out of it. So basically, how many times can I say citrus in a review? We're going to find out, but that's what this one's all about. So, I mean, she looks the part. She smells pretty good. Let's see what she tastes like. Cheers. You know, when I go in for the second sip real quick, it's not a bad thing. First off, one of the most dangerous 7% IPAs I've ever drank in my life. It does not drink anywhere close to 7%. It drinks like a 4% beer. It's got this... The hops aren't punching you in the fucking face. They're not. That's not the goal of this beer, I don't think it is. And that's not a bad thing. I'm excited about it. Sometimes I want to be fucking hit across the face with a 2x4 of fucking hops that kind of blows me off my chair. But sometimes I want to be serenaded. Sometimes I want to be, lulled. Sometimes I want to just be, massaged gently. And that's kind of what this beer is doing. The mouthfeel is awesome. Again, it could be that they want to drop out a little bit, but as far as I'm concerned, right now it's cash money. It's almost like drinking fucking 5,000 count Fred sheets. How that feels if you ever had those, the pleasure of touching like sheets that I could never afford. That's kind of how this feels in your mouth. Just straight up like cotton candy, like that fluffy and that delicious. The hops are present. They're coming through. They're not beating you over the face. Equal parts sweet with equal parts bittering. You're still getting a ton of that citrus. Now I'm probably in the mouth, I'm getting maybe a touch of stone fruitiness, a little bit of peachiness, but it's still all about the citrus, but it's definitely gone way away from the rindiness. It's not into the fleshiness. I would say it's more like, maybe it's more like a fresh, non-overly ripened kind of citrus to where you're getting that sweet fleshiness, but it's not overly sweet. Yeah, drinkability on this is absolutely bonkers. Through the roof. Yeah, I could drink so much of this, it's not even funny. As you can see, I'm just crushing the crap out of it. Yeah, wow. Super drinkable, man. Super drinkable. And that's the thing about this beer. That's the calling card I think it is for me. Is that this thing is just super crushable. In a good way. There's flavor abounds, but it's not in a way that you expect to be beaten over the face with it. I keep saying that because a lot of people out there kind of expect their IPAs or double IPAs to be over the top, to deliver this kind of super butternut squash soupiness with this kind of hop profile to where almost like there's hops inside the beer. And I get it. I totally get it. And I can get down with that shit too. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't like that. But there's also something to be said for well-balanced, well-made beers that are meant to be drank and are able to be drank without destroying the living shit out of your palate. And that's where this falls. And it's kind of like, it's kind of like some people like breakdancing. I love breakdancing, but some people like ballet. And I like ballet too, so this is a ballet. So let's talk about it. So one of the better base IPAs I've had as of late, just on the edge outside looking in. It doesn't hit the exact notes that I personally like, but I'm absolutely fucking nitpicking here. This is a delicious beer that I would definitely go and pick some up if I could, and maybe I will, considering it's 2 weeks from now. Kind of poor today, but not in 2 weeks. So yeah, it's just a really well done beer, and it's so crushable. It's not even funny, and that is a good thing. Value and availability. Again, you're pretty much gonna have to go to the brewery to get this. Brewery only release in cans. Like I said, August 21st, so if you're in and around the area, definitely go pick some up because it's definitely worth it, especially if you're into drinkable beers. Price-wise, I have no idea what the actual price point is. You might have let me know, but it slipped my mind. I'll post it somewhere down in the info and shit. Or just ask me if you want to know. And if you like what we like this, let's get to that part. If you just like drinking good beer, and that's honestly, it sounds generic, but I say that with a very loving heart in that it drinks that well. And this is something that at 7%, you wouldn't want to do this, but this is something I'd like to have a 12-pack of on the beach. Yeah, I might hurt myself because drinking 12 of those would definitely hurt, but it's just so easy and so welcoming to drink. It's just that fun. It's just that smooth. It's just I don't know what did I say earlier. Lullaby, it's that thing. It's just welcoming, familiar, and it belongs. Here we go. Let's get super creepy. This is a nice analogy. When I drink it, it feels like I'm supposed to be drinking it. Like some beers are harsh in a good way to where you're like, okay, this is kind of combative. My body's like, what are you drinking? But you're kind of, it's like a roller coaster ride. You're like, don't do that, but do that. This is more like, okay, this is supposed to be inside me. Now, that's the creepiest thing I've ever said in a review, but it is what it is. So there you go. Another review in the book. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. If you did it or you didn't or somewhere in between, please leave a comment in the comment section below and like, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. If you'd like to check us out anywhere else on the internet, you can. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Untapped, Master Beers, and all 4 of those places. And yeah, another review down. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoyed a beautifully homegrown base IPA. New Zealand IPA right now. And hopefully see you next time. Cheers.